Today I'm going to talk about some ways that you can prepare your next story idea to write 50,000 words in 30 days. November is almost here, and you know what that means. NaNoWriMo! If you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, National Novel Writing Month takes place every year in November. The writers all around the world try to write 50,000 words in 1 month. That's a lot of words per day for the average writer. That's 1,667 words per day if you want to write each day in November. And most of the time, you really need a plan to get through the month. That's why that October is known as Preptober, where writers set on writing 50,000 words in November, prepare their projects by brainstorming and outlining their books, whatever project they want to write in November. Now, if this is your first video of mine, I'm Katlyn Duncan. I am a traditionally published author and soon to be hybrid author. I post videos on Mondays talking about the writing process and all the bookish things, so be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you're ready to talk about prepping your next project. When I was an unpublished author, I would spend every November taking part in NaNoWriMo. I'd write the same novel over and over again every single year, and then I would just put it away until the next year, and then I did it all over again. Now, the year I really got serious about publishing my novel, I did spend a couple months prior to November preparing what I wanted to do, so that I really understood what I could do to make my project better, and then execute it starting November 1st. Now, my first way to prepare your novel is thinking about it, brainstorming your novel. Now, since I took part in NaNoWriMo once a year, every year, and didn't really look at my book otherwise, I basically had 11 months out of the year to subconsciously think about my project. Now, while you may not have that sort of time, and I don't really recommend just working on a project once every year, I suggest choosing whatever story idea you want to write prior to November. Now, I have 2 videos on how to choose a book idea, whether you have too many and are unable to pick between any of them, or if you really don't have any ideas, these 2 videos are for you. So be sure to check them out after this one if you're interested. Now, while I do understand that all writers are different and everyone has their own writing process, NaNoWriMo really doesn't mimic a typical publishing experience. Now, this is really a sprint. This is not a marathon. It's 1 month, 30 days. So preparing your book is key. So the more prepared you are, the better. And that doesn't necessarily mean you need a 20-page, fully detailed outline, even though I really am partial to those. But that does bring me to my next point, which is making notes on your project. When you're in the middle of November and taking part in NaNoWriMo, this is really a turning point for a lot of authors. You can be the writer who is ahead of the game, you can be right on time with your word count, or you can be behind. And being placed in any of these categories can really be based on how much you prepare ahead of time. Now, once you choose your project, I suggest taking the rest of October to really dig into the story and make notes. And this can look different to everyone. You can use a plotting craft book to sketch out the beats of your story or the scenes of your story and create a fully detailed outline. Or you can create a bullet point list of all these scenes, or write out a narrative synopsis of your story. You can even just write down a few scenes that really excite you when you think about them and you're just itching to write them. Or even snippets of dialogue or a setting that you create, anything really. You can find songs or photos that really inspire you or make you think of your story. You can make a playlist of all those songs or a collage of all those photos that you can reference during the month of November when you're kind of feeling slumpy, or that you know will bring you a spark of inspiration. And any of these notes or outlines or scenes can live on sticky notes or a notebook or on your computer in a document or a tablet, wherever you feel most comfortable referencing. It's really important to focus when you're trying to write 50,000 words in 1 month, and knowing what you're writing, even if you're discovering it on the page, is really going to push you toward that success. Now, my next tip is to take out a November 2020 calendar and make a schedule. Some writers plan on writing the 1,667 words per 30 days in November, and that's perfectly fine. But for some, this this might not work. People have day jobs and families to take care of. So I found that over the years, I tend to work best in the morning, and I tend to work best when my family is sleeping. So I usually write from 5 to 7 in the morning before my family wakes up and before I have to get started with my day. And I usually work Monday through Fridays with some spillover in the evenings and weekends, but I don't count on that time. Now, based on your schedule, there can be 1,000 different possibilities of when writing works for you. If you have a full-time job, block out that part of your day. If you have commitments that you already have in November, birthdays, holidays, family vacations, I don't know who's taking vacations now, but you might. Or if you're a caretaker or you have a chronic illness, etc. Try to look at your time realistically so you don't set yourself up for failure in November. Now, once you have an idea of how many hours in a day or in the week that you have, you can plan your time so much better when it comes to November. And then I would suggest putting that schedule to work in October. Sort of a practice schedule. See how it fits into your life. Take a week or two to build up this stamina for writing. I find that even when I take a couple weeks off of working on projects, it takes me a little bit of time to sort of get that schedule going again for myself. So once you've found those pockets of time that you're able to write for November, use them in October to do all of the other steps. Brainstorm your project, write down scenes you're interested in, or any way that you're able to think about your project. Sort of use that time in October, and then if you find your schedule isn't working, you can tweak it, and if it's working, fantastic. You are all set for November. And the beauty about starting it early is that you can adjust it as you go. Preparing ahead of time will prevent you from starting November 1st and realizing you don't actually have as much time that you think. And that can lead to starting off by being behind or getting frustrated and quitting entirely. I hope these tips helped you and have sort of sparked some inspiration for you if you plan on writing 50,000 words or more in 1 month. Next week, I'm going to talk about mindset during NaNoWriMo. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out when I upload. Let me know if any of these tips resonated with you in the comments below, or if you have any additional tips that have helped you throughout the years stay on a writing schedule. And also let me know if you're taking part in NaNoWriMo. I would love to cheer you on. So be sure to give this video a like, and I will see you soon.